people to be loaded.
Yeah, what do you think about weed with that? Like, you can't walk around a major city in New York without just literally smelling, weed all over the place. Is it the same? Is it part of the...
They hate cigarettes, but they love weed. Yeah. I mean, by the way, just to be clear, I don't think we should haul people off to prison for firing up the bomb in their living room. I don't. Of course not. However, the government is affirmatively pushing weed on the population. Now, why are they doing that? To weaken them, obviously. It doesn't make you stronger. It makes you weaker. Of course. That's why they closed the gyms during COVID, but kept the weed dispensaries
Physical
open.
fitness is white supremacy, Tucker. I mean, if you're in shape, if you can run a 6-minute mile, if you can do a couple pull-ups, and you actually strive to do that, that's not just, perseverance or basic, common health benefit. That's actually white supremacy these days. And they sold it to us hard. Right. I mean, Starbucks will remain open. Walmart and junk food places will remain open, but we're going to close your gym.
It's totally true, and feed you garbage, poison food, which is also true. And I mean, well, I'm not digging into my boring life, but that's been one of the things that's taken me the longest to understand, since I have such bad eating habits and such low taste in food. I love white, even though I grew up in a, rich world, I love white trash food. And it's actually poison, and it makes you weak, not just fat. Obviously, it makes you fat, which is bad, I guess. Yeah. I don't even care about fat, however. What I care about is, a person's spiritual condition. Are you strong? And that stuff makes you weak. And so does sitting around, and so does smoking weed, and then the whole just world of pharmacology that they're pushing on people, the SSRIs, the benzodiazepines, all of that weakens you. And they're weakening you for a reason, which is to make you more obedient and easier to control. They don't want free citizens who think for themselves. That's the thing they don't want. And anyone who's like that, they immediately call a white supremacist.
Well, by the way, other than Trump, who remains very strong, despite eating a diet of McDonald's and KFC. I mean, he's the one guy that can pull off, he literally knows every item on the menu. People are like, no, that's not real. I'm like, dude, I've literally driven through the drive-thru in the presidential motorcade of a McDonald's. I promise you, he knows everything there is to know about it.
I love that. I was coming back from hunting, super early in the morning, coming back at like 11, and, I've had too much coffee. My stomach's growling. This was a couple of years ago. I don't eat McDonald's at all. And I was like, McDonald's, I'll get a McDonald's. And I had the breakfast thing, which was delicious. It was like a head injury for the rest of the day. It was unbelievable.
Kick your butt. Sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is incredible, but
That's what I had.
You pay for it forever.
It's insane. And the fact that he can just wolf down a quarter pounder and, a Milky Way and keep, it's like he's obviously got a very unusual constitution. But for most of us, that stuff makes you weaker and easier to control. And last thing I'll say is I don't understand why we don't see that and why we don't understand the implications. If you treated your children like the U.S. government treats its citizens, your kids would be in rehab. They would they'd be moving towards suicide. We are intentionally mistreating and weakening the population, making them more dependent, more self-loathing, less physically healthy. It's absolutely crazy. Again, if you did that to your kids, they would be destroyed. And yet they're doing it to us. And so what does that tell you? They hate us. That's what it tells you. There's no other possible interpretation. People